Okay, here we're going up Mount Tabor on the look. It's over the edges. Oh boy! See, everybody loves this. How y'all doing?
Oh, we're doing great.
Steep.
Oh, there's. Chariots. They were not as sophisticated, technologically empowered as the king of Hatzor. He came down with his general named Cicero, and he came down with 900 chariots. Can you imagine being Israel up here, and you see these chariots galloping, surrounded by artillery and horsemen, and they're coming to get you in the Jezreel Valley. And Barak was the general, and he was afraid. And he said, I will not go out and fight them. He was terrified. But there was a judge named Deborah, and she was speaking for God at the time, like a prophet or a judge. Her name was Deborah. And Deborah says, I will go out in front of the army of Israel. And Barak said, if you go, I will follow you into battle. This is one of those great moments for women, when the men were all cowards and the women led the way. It's also at the cross. Remember, what did the men do? They all ran. And who stayed at the foot of the cross? Young John, who's probably only 15 years old or something, but who stayed? It was the women that stayed with Jesus at the cross. So Deborah leads the armies of Israel out, and God, in honor of her, caused a tremendous rainstorm to come. The whole valley was turned into mud. All the iron chariots got stuck in the mud. The king saw that he was losing the battle, and everybody was fleeing, and the general was scared, Cicero, and he went and hid in it by a tent. He said to the lady, can you hide me? She says, of course, of course. Her name was Yael, which is two names of God, Yahweh and Elohim, Yael. She says, come into my tent, quick, I'll hide you. Are you tired? Yes, I'm very tired. Here, have a glass of warm milk. What happens if you drink a glass of warm milk? Calcium gets in your body, you fall asleep. As soon as he's asleep, she goes out and pulls a tent stake out of the tent, gets a hammer, comes and puts it in the temple of his head, and bam, 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 pounds his head right into the ground. The tent stake right through the temple, through his brain, and she kills the general. And see, this is how you became a saint in the Old Testament. You'll see this, because other women did.
Telling her things that she didn't even comprehend what they are. But the good faith in her said, let it be done to me as you say. I don't know what you're talking about, but if it's from God, it's from God. And then she went to Anne and Joachim, and she said to them, you know what? The angel appeared to me and told me that I'm going to conceive and have a child, and his name is going to be called Emmanuel, Jesus.
Here we all go up to Cana. We just got off the bus. Here's everybody. And we're on our way up to Cana. We'll go right up this road, and the wedding church is just ahead of us.
To love you and honor you, in good times and in bad, in sickness and in health, for better or for worse, all the days of my life. God has joined together, let no one set apart.
There as well is a landmark here since the 12th century, folks. This is not where the water came out. This is actually where you have an access to the water. The spring is further up, like 300-400 feet further up, inside a Greek Orthodox church up there, which has the source of water.
Hi there, Becky and Cindy, Darcy, Scott, and Henry. I'm here in Nazareth, where the Annunciation took place.
And here we are right in the shadow of the big church right there. Right under there is where the...
Take off our sunglasses so they know.
Oh,
Now they'll know who you are.
Okay.
Down on the other side to Sepphoris, and they get in line, and the union boss is there, gives them a hammer and chisel, and he points to a pile of rocks, and he says to them, see that pile of rocks over there? Go get to work. Why do I think this? Look at this building here. Look at it's made out of rocks that are all shaped like cubes. God doesn't make rocks those shapes. Men make those rocks that shape with hammers and chisels. And when you go to Sepphoris, it is all made of square stones, cubes that are built into the theaters, the houses, the walls, the buildings. And what I'm contending is that Jesus and Joseph, the hard materials they worked with was stone, and they were sent over to a pile of rocks, and the rest of the day, in the heat of the sun, they were standing there going, ching, 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 pounding away on their chisels, shaping these rocks into cubes with the dirt and the dust flying in their face. No OSHA requirements, no safety goggles, none of this in the heat of the sun. Jesus and Joseph were your average rednecks. They were hard-working stiffs. We call them rednecks. How does your neck get red? You bend over all day working in the sun pounds down on your neck, and you go home a redneck. It's the ones who work outside, the ones who work with their hands. We had Mass at the Church of Annunciation where the angel met Mary. We were right at the cave where she was living. And on the altar it says, the Word became flesh here. That's what these words mean right here. The Word became flesh here. After Mass, we went back to the hotel, had some free time. People went swimming, a nice dinner, and ready for another good day.